All right, here's under the engine. We got a VTEC in this one. Notice the filler cap says 520. That's what my oil says. To make the oil drain better, what I personally do is I remove this. Be sure nothing goes down in that hole. If you're really paranoid and you think you might drop something in that hole, I don't know what it would be, but if you're clumsy or something, you can cover it up. Maybe like that, so it still gets airflow, yet you ain't gonna drop a bolt, even though we're not having bolts up here, but you could drop something on there, so that's something to be aware of. Now we're gonna go underneath the car and start to change the oil. You thought I forgot, but I did not. We're gonna chock the car just to show you how to do that. Get the chock, put it under your rear tire, and you make sure it's under there well. You can tap it to make sure, and just make sure nobody comes over here, a kid or anybody, and pulls that rope out. Keep it always chocked. Both sides is preferable if you got two chocks. All right, trying to get under the car here, but before I go under there, always, depending on how your oil filter is orientated, some of them are always like this. You know, this car is very vertical, so you can fill up a little more, but I don't want the car to have a dry start. So what I do here is I fill it up. Oh, it's soaking in. A little more here. You don't want it completely full, but that's pretty good. Also, get the clean oil, do that around your seal a little bit. Okay. Of course, you spill any, that's why you have the blue shop towels, right? Okay, here we go. All right, we have the oil filter here. We have the drain plug here. I wish these ramps were a little higher. My tripod almost fit, but it was a hair bit short. So if somebody wants to buy me a garage lift so I can make better videos, that would be awesome. Just PayPal me that, that'd be great. That's a joke. What we're gonna do is drain the oil now. It does not matter. See, this one's pretty straight up. So what you can do is loosen this one actually with your hand. Slowly, you don't want to spill oil. Be sure in your oil pan, if it has a stopper to prevent oil from going into the pan, you have removed that. This one did. Should have got maybe a paper towel. It's getting slick. Usually I remember that, but it's best if you do have a paper towel for a little more traction. Shop towel. Should be getting close. And it fell into the pan. Thankfully I had it positioned correctly. You're just gonna let it drain. All right, we're back here. Get the paper towel, clean up your oil filter, make sure there's no gasket. Okay, I done loosen this bolt to make it easier one-handed, but you got your 7/10mm ratchet. I got the 3/8, you put on there, you loosen it, about 2 turns, and the bolt's loose. So you make sure the car is not warm. By hand, just remove the bolt. Don't forget to remove this crush washer. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute, but we're going to let it drain here for a few minutes. Okay, here's your drain plug. Let's get a little focus on that if we can. Make sure the threads are good. Inspect the threads so you don't need a new drain plug. Inspect this to make sure it's not rounded. These quick lube places will over torque this bolt and round the bolt off or cross thread it, almost guaranteed. Now, that's one of the biggest reasons I change my own oil. Okay, look, remove the crush washer. Now it does have a right way and a wrong way, what I've always been taught on this crush washer, convex versus concave. You want the smooth side, that's going to go against the car. On this side, you can kind of hold and tell right off which side I'm talking about. You put it on like that, okay? So always clean the plug and inspect the threads a little better. But now this is clean. And after the oil gets done draining, we'll put it back in. All right. It's dripping, but it can drip all day. That's about as good as I drain mine. Make sure your crush washer is facing the right way. Hand tighten this. Make sure it don't feel like you're cross threading. Get on there good. Now you notice I'm putting this in before that. Any particular reason. Don't ask me how I know, but if you put that on first, then you won't be able to use your ratchet. You'll have to get an open-end wrench. Okay? So then, remember 17 millimeters? You might have to move your bucket below there. Make sure it's going the right way to tighten it. Bucket way, let me move that. Okay, you want to snug it up. If you have a torque wrench here in the torque spec, highly recommend you use that. If you don't, you want to snug it up without over tightening. The thing is not going to shoot out if you don't have 800 foot-pounds on it. It just won't. See that a lot. Okay, now make sure your oil filter has oil around it and in it. You want to hand thread it. Get it lined up. There you go. Now, a lot of people use the oil filter wrench. On this car, it has such a good angle, so easy to get to. What I do is I get a pretty clean shop towel and I tighten it by hand, clean both of them up. And that's installed. Now we're going to go up to the top to put the oil in it. All right, now we got to add some oil. So I use this filter. Pretty much holds itself in place. Get the correct oil once again. This is 5W20. Match the cap. And this car does not take all of the 5 quarts according to the manual or my experience. So I add around 4.5. Pull it off the ramps level. Give the oil a few minutes to drip down and check it, and then top off as needed. Also, remember to remove your chock. We got to go do that after this. And make sure all the tools are up and not left under your hood. It's the worst thing to leave tools under your hood. Okay, checking oil. Got over a quart left. All right. It'll be good enough until I give it the final check. Remove the filter. See, like that towel came in handy, so the filter's not leaking. Do not cross thread this either. Don't have to be super tight. You'll know when it stops there. Okay, we're going to check the engine oil. I forgot to show you this earlier, but this is the headlight. LED flashlight I was using underneath the car to change the oil, which is super convenient. And let's see what we did on the oil here. So you're going to pull it. Never look at it the first time. Wipe it. Put it back. Okay. Needs a hair bit more, in my opinion. So we're going to put a hair bit more. So let's see if we can just free pour this, because the funnel's over there. Man, messed up a little bit, but not too bad. Okay. Wipe any oil. Probably need to wait longer than that for it to drain actually down into the oil pan. If I'm on the stick at the bottom, almost forgot the old oil. I don't know what y'all do with it. Well, first you don't spill it, but I usually empty out this if there's any left from that 5 quarts into another 5 quarts that's over there. Then I get my dirty oil and I put it back in this 5 quarts. You can also tell if you're really super low, you know, based on how much you drained out and how much you got back. You never get 100% of the old oil out. You do get most of it. And also, your AutoZone Advanced or O'Reilly's will take this oil, or your local landfill. So I'll wait for about 2 oil changes, get two of these jugs, and I take mine to whatever is most convenient for me at the time. Just whatever you're closest to. But I thought I would remind you that to be good stewards of the environment. And with that, I think we're done. The tire chock. You see the rope I have here. And